I wanted to sort of create something that sort of exemplified how we interact with the world. Like sometimes we can impose our force upon the world and make it change, and sometimes the force of the world imposes itself on us.
Now that you've seen my public victory, let me take you to the humble beginning. Just me, a lowly grad student in a library with a Leap motion controller, Abelton Live, and a strong ambition to pay off student loans. I'm not exactly sure what it is that I want to do exactly with my CE. I thought that maybe the goal that I had before was a bit too lofty of doing some sort of very grandiose performance that I would write and basically produce and direct and all of that stuff. I could see that being a real disaster. Turns out, that idea was anything but disaster. I followed through, and this is what resulted. A live audio-visual performance where I used movement and audio to affect video. But the initial plans were understandably frightening. This is the first prototype. It was a 3-dimensional live visual experience that had multiple performers coordinating. And I wanted to write and produce the music myself. With no prior experience, I had no justified way to predict the scope of this project. Even the smallest thing, like choosing a controller, took some serious consideration. Some of my thoughts moving forward are, I think I would definitely like to practice more with the Leap motion. I think it has a lot of potential, and I'd like to see what exactly its limitations are. I haven't even played around with the hot hands yet.
This little ring that's on my finger is controlling the lines in this case, and it's also going to be, in this next case, going to be controlling the movement of the object.
I wanted to have a controller with a lot of range, so the hot hands won the debate. It's an accelerometer, which means it measures the speed of movement and not where I am in space, like I'd assumed it would when I first started using it. So I decided to use the incoming data from the speed of my movement to control the spin on the object using X, Y, and Z parameters. As you can see here, the object is responding to how fast or slow my left hand moves. You can also see that the object is breaking apart and coming back together with the kick information. This is an earlier version of this patch, where you can watch the crossfade effect more clearly. The MIDI information from the kick is being sent from Ableton Live to control this destruct repair quality. To achieve this, I'm importing the note on-off messages from the MIDI data to crossfade the objects with visual noise. This is nerd speak for I'm using the sounds of the music to make the object explode and fix itself. Now, paralleling the coding part of this project, I was also writing the music with my partner Kyle Lynn. My strategy for completing my project was to first hone the code for the first patch, get a feel for the first song, and then take and apply some of the same principles to the second half of the project. I had a deadline for finishing the first half, so with the methods developed, I worked on creating a system for a live performance. But trouble followed me around. I am finishing up everything for in vivo. Last night, I added 3 objects and 3 video. We had a couple of problems. And this was actually because we transferred it over. We have a problem that we don't think is fixable. It was somehow controlling the volume. Don't think that those settings translated. What other problems? Oh, a flash of gray. It's not a problem that I thought I'd run into. I'm just gonna kind of have to bootleg it at this point. I was at my wit's end. So I buckled and I went to my professor for help, and we sat in front of the class and made all of the final adjustments before the performance. And of course, you've already seen how this ends. At that point, the bulk of the coding work was done. I created a secondary patch using the same general principles as the first, and it wasn't long before I'd created another usable interactive video that was ready to be placed in the performance. But perhaps the most understated part of the whole process was I was also learning to produce and engineer in the middle of all this. So with the coding finished, I went ahead and ticked off the box marked write, mix, and perform a song in a live performance that you yourself created. Mission accomplished.
Think of what you should have done. You can't get away with much. It's not about